misdemeanor charges, correct, Mr. Acorn, concerning cruelty to animals, 185 counts each concerning that matter. And Ms. Beth, I guess the best way to go through this is to say, on count one, how do you plead?
Your Honor, if it pleases the court, pursuant to Rule 24.3, the state would not consent to any type of guilty plea at this point. This matter is still under investigation and may result in the filing of felony charges as it relates to some of the animals. We're simply here today so they can be apprised of an attorney, things of that nature. We would request that the court not entertain any attempt to enter a guilty plea. I'm trying to imply that they intend to do that, but this matter is under investigation. There's also a tandem forfeiture matter that goes along with this. May I approach? Mr. and Ms. Best were served with a notice of intent to seek forfeiture yesterday. That's the original. And there is a mistake in that notice of intent to seek forfeiture. It indicates that they have 15 days to file a petition with this court under the applicable statute. They should read 15 business days. So I ask the court to let the record reflect that they have been advised that they have up to 15 business days. They were served yesterday with that notice of intent. Their first business day would be today. I will, if it pleases the court, or if the court's okay with it, I will submit an order for your signature indicating that they were advised in open court that they have 15 business days to file a response. I had handed them, without discussing it with them, a waiver this morning whereby they could consider waiving that period and we could proceed forward with the forfeiture action today. I'll let the court inquire of them. Mr. Best did ask to speak with me. I informed him that I was a prosecuting attorney and could not speak with him about the criminal matter. And basically all he said to me was that he had a lawyer. His lawyer was coming to his property today. His lawyer would read the waiver and they would make a decision based on that. But I want to be clear, he has an opportunity to refute that right now before you, but I did not discuss the criminal matter or discuss the civil matter for that fact with him at that time.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Best?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. From what the prosecutor tells me, you plan to hire an attorney in this matter, is that correct?
Already have, ma'am.
You do, okay. And who might that be?
I can't remember his name. He is out of Little Rock.
Okay. All right. So.
Yeah, I know his first name is John.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to assume, based on the fact that you have advised the court that you have retained counsel, that you want to enter a plea of not guilty.
That's correct.
In these matters.
That's correct.
And that your wife also wants to enter a plea of not guilty in these matters. Is that correct?
Sure. Sure. It is, ma'am.
And that with regard to the forfeiture matter, you have been apprised of that and given a copy of that as well. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so what we will do is set a hearing at the appropriate time when your attorney has had an opportunity to look over that and communicate with Mr. Acorn, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a date in mind for the...
Well, Your Honor, the way the statute works is that they've been served with a notice of intent to seek forfeiture. They have 15 business days to file a petition seeking a return. At that time, the court would have a hearing, and if the court deemed that the animal should in fact be forfeited, the court would take testimony regarding the costs associated with these animals. Should they file that petition and seek to have them returned and then lose that petition before this court would be in a position to order them to post somewhere in the neighborhood of a $90,000 cash bond to pay for the care of the animals during that time period. If they do not file a petition within 15 business days, the statute dictates that the prosecuting attorney shall file a petition, and at that point we would request a hearing, pretty much an ex parte hearing before this court, to have you tell us what it is you believe to be appropriate disposition of these animals. I can't tell you at this point whether or not they're going to file a petition, whether or not they have the money to post the bond in the event the court does not grant their petition. So on the 15th business day, I will either be filing a petition asking for a hearing based on the state's petition, or we will wait to receive their petition. At that point, would request a hearing. I do appreciate the court's sensitivity to this matter. It is costing someone in the neighborhood of $3,000 a day to care for these animals. So I'd ask the court to keep that in mind, that when we have a determination from the defendants whether or not they're going to file a petition, that we try to set the hearing as expedient as possible, because the state and other organizations are incurring tremendous costs with housing their animals.
As I count this, and correct me if I'm wrong, I count the 20th business day being
15th business day.
I'm sorry, that was
Yes, ma'am.
March the 20th
Okay.
would be the 15th business day. I said that backwards, but yes. Is that how the state counts that?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
So in the event they do not file a petition, I will be filing one on the 20th of March, and I'd ask for a hearing within 5 or 6 days of that. I will have to bring some witnesses from very far out of state. So when I file that petition, I'll see your scheduler and try to set it within 5 to 6 days
Okay.
after the 20th.
You'll just let us know, and we can schedule that.
Yes, ma'am.
uh,
All of it's going to be dictated on whether or not they file a petition seeking return, and whether or not they have sufficient funds to risk not being successful in front of court regarding that matter. The other thing is that I have presented them with a waiver that allows them to waive some of the forfeiture proceedings and allow us. I anticipate that they may discuss that with their attorney, and then they may file that waiver, and that may speak, their attorney may indicate to me that they do want to file that waiver, and they will then in fact will speed it up. But I'll let you know, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. As it relates to the criminal matter, given the fact that some of these charges may be aggravated felonies, we'll need time for the investigators to complete their investigation, and ask you to set this matter for a return in about 60 days, if that's all right with the court. Please.
And what we normally do with regard to these citations, these misdemeanor citations, is set them for a trial. Is that acceptable?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. we will-
Recognizing that we may be now crossing some or all of those counts,
Absolutely.
but 60 days should be sufficient. Yes, ma'am.
We will do that. Mr. and Ms. Bez, did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
What he was saying? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to set these citations for a trial in about 60 days, okay? And then you also have the forfeiture matter to discuss with your attorney, and your attorney and the prosecutor can get back into court, okay? We're going to go ahead and give you this trial date to give to your counsel, okay?
Yes, ma'am.